Today, we are jumping right into the next big chapter for Westeros, HBO's brand new series, A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms.
You know, after the huge, epic scale of Game of Thrones and all that fiery political drama in House of the Dragon, this new series is being called a palate cleanser for the whole franchise. So what does that actually mean? Well, let's get into it and break down what makes this story feel so different. Okay, first things first, let's figure out where and when we are on the timeline. All right, so this new story is set about 90 years before the events of Game of Thrones. That puts us smack in the middle of Targaryen rule. The giant dragons we saw in House of the Dragon, yeah, they're pretty much just skulls in the Red Keep by now. And the whole Mad King Aerys saga, that's still a few generations down the road. So we're in this really unique period of, well, relative peace in Westeros. But you know there's always political tension just bubbling under the surface. So who are the main characters at the very heart of this new adventure? Let's meet them. So our first hero is what they call a hedge knight. And what's that? Well, think of them kind of like a medieval freelancer, a wandering warrior, you know? They were pretty common back in this era of Westeros, just traveling from town to town looking for a job and really a chance to make a name for themselves. And that brings us right to our main guys, Sir Duncan the Tall, or just Dunk. He's this towering, kind of naive knight, just trying to prove he's got what it takes. And he's joined by his squire, a sharp-witted and surprisingly bold kid who goes by Egg. But here's the thing. There is way more to Egg than meets the eye. I'm talking a secret that could get them both killed. It's their totally unlikely friendship between this future legendary knight and a kid with a massive hidden destiny that really drives the whole adventure. Okay, so how exactly is this story going to be told on screen? What's the plan? Well, the whole series is based directly on a collection of really beloved novellas written by George R.R. Martin himself. So you know the source material is tight, it's focused, and it's coming straight from the master. This showrunner, Ira Parker, has already confirmed the plan. It's going to be a 3-season arc. And get this, each season is going to adapt one of the novellas. So what does that mean for us? It means we can expect a really focused, intimate story that builds season by season. So the big question is, who's been tasked with bringing this beloved duo to life on screen? All right, let's put some faces to the names you're going to be hearing a lot about. Time to meet the cast. First step, taking on the role of the towering Dunk is Peter Claffey. He's an Irish actor and, get this, a former rugby player. He's a relative newcomer to the screen, but man, he definitely has the physical presence for the part, no question. And playing his young, very secretive squire is Dexter Saul Ansel. Now, you might recognize him. He was the young Coriolanus Snow in that recent Hunger Games prequel, a great young actor. Then we've got Finn Bennett, who you might know from True Detective Night Country. He's playing Egg's older, much more, let's say, volatile brother, Prince Aegon Targaryen. Yeah, you can definitely expect this guy to cause some trouble. And check this out. Veteran actor Bertie Carvel is also joining the cast. You might remember him playing Tony Blair in The Crown. He's playing Prince Baelor Brickspear Targaryen. He's the hand of the king and, importantly, known for his honor. He's a really key figure, especially in the central conflict of that first book. And rounding out the Targaryen family, we have Sam Spruill playing Prince Maekar. He's Egg's formidable and pretty stern father. And his difficult relationship with his sons, especially the rebellious Aeryn, well, let's just say that's a major source of drama. So let's get to the crucial point here. Why should you be excited for a Westeros story that might be missing, that key fire-breathing ingredient? Look, a pretty common concern I've seen from fans is that without dragons, the show just might not have that same epic appeal. But is that really what made these stories so popular in the first place? A lot of people argue that the real appeal of this universe was never just about the fantasy stuff. As one fan put it perfectly, people watched Game of Thrones because they loved the characters and needed to see what happened next, not just because it had dragons. And actually, if you look at HBO's track record, you'll see that their most successful shows have always been built on strong characters and really compelling human drama. Think about it. The Sopranos didn't have dragons, right? So in a way, this new series isn't some big departure from the HBO formula. It's actually a return to its core strengths. So what this show promises is to lean right into the true selling points of this whole world. Deep character development and that juicy political intrigue we all love. But this time, it's from a much more personal, ground-level perspective. It's less about the big question of who sits on the Iron Throne and way more about how you just survive in the world beneath it.
So, at the end of the day, this series really isn't about grand battles for the throne. It's about something simpler, something really powerful, the bond between a knight and his squire trying to make their way through a dangerous world. It's a story of honor, of adventure, and of an unlikely friendship that is going to quietly shape the entire future of the Seven Kingdoms. And that leaves us with a pretty compelling question, doesn't it? In a world full of kings and dragons, maybe the most important stories are the ones about the heroes that nobody sees coming. Thanks for joining this explainer.